After I accidentally sent a steamy fanfic to my arranged marriage husband instead of the divorce papers, I turned off my phone and slept like the dead. When I finally woke up, my estranged husband was at the door, his face flushed a strange shade of red. As he swept me up into his arms, he whispered in my ear. "This might hurt a little, just bear with me." 3 minutes later. The man next to me was red from head to toe, utterly mortified. "Listen, I can explain, that was an accident." There he was. At the door. The man was standing there in a sharp, tailored suit. When I opened the door, I was completely stunned. "Alex, what are you doing here?" He looked like he'd just gotten off a long flight, his hair a little messy from the wind. He stepped forward. I instinctively backed up, my shoulder hitting the doorframe. "Weren't you the one who told me to come back?" "What? Thinking of backing out now?" His Adam's apple bobbed, his voice husky. Behind his gold-rimmed glasses, his dark eyes were intense, holding some hidden meaning. Me? I froze for a beat. Then it hit me. The divorce. It hadn't even been 12 hours since I sent the email with the divorce papers, and my so-called husband was already here? Did he take the red eye just for this? We usually don't see each other for 6 months at a time. He must really hate me, couldn't wait a single second to get this over with. 3 years of marriage. Thinking about it still made me a little sad. I sighed and stepped aside to let him in. "Well, come on in. Let's get this done as quickly as possible." Alex paused mid-step. Then his eyes locked onto mine. "You're in a hurry?" I quickly waved my hands. No, not at all. We can take our time. Can't rush this." This was a critical moment. I had to leave a good impression. If I played my cards right, maybe he'd be generous in the settlement. He didn't seem to believe me, squinting at me through his glasses. "Really? Really?" I answered calmly. But I couldn't shake the feeling that the way Alex was looking at me was odd. Something felt wrong. But I couldn't put my finger on it. Whatever. I couldn't worry about it now. After he came inside, Alex bent down and started rummaging through his briefcase. I naturally assumed he was looking for the divorce papers. But when I looked up again, Alex was taking off his clothes. He stood to the side, his suit jacket tossed casually on the sofa, his long fingers already unbuttoning his shirt. His shirt was halfway open. I could just make out the line of his collarbone. My jaw dropped. What are you doing? Aren't we getting a divorce? Why is he immediately? He glanced at me but didn't say a word. Then he pulled the hem of his shirt out from his trousers, and the fabric slid off his shoulders. Broad shoulders, a lean waist, the smooth lines of the muscles in his back. I was mesmerized. "Seriously, what on earth are you doing?" "A shower." His reply was short and to the point as he turned and walked into the bathroom, leaving me staring after him. He's just here to sign divorce papers, right? Why does he need a shower first? What a weird quirk. Also, shouldn't his legal team be here for the signing? He's such a meticulous person, this doesn't make sense. I thought it over and over. I couldn't figure it out. Alex and I had an arranged marriage for family business reasons. No feelings, just benefits. Plus, he had someone else he was in love with, and I didn't want to be tied down by marriage. So, on our first day of marriage, we started living separately. Alex was a traditional, old-fashioned guy. Not exactly Mr. Romance, always so serious. I was even a little scared of him. Luckily, he was busy with work, flying all over the world. We barely saw each other, except for events we both had to attend. As a husband, Alex was decent enough. He never skimped on the material things. My $500,000 monthly allowance was always deposited into my account on time. It was more than enough for me to live a lavish life. He really did treat me well. Logically, I should have been content. But I was so done with this bland, passionless life. I don't want to be a grass widow anymore. I need a man. Even if it costs me $500,000 a month, I'm getting this divorce. The bathroom door clicked open. I looked up at the sound. A cloud of hot steam billowed out. Alex was leaning one hand on the doorframe, the other loosely holding the corner of a towel that was barely hanging on around his waist. Water droplets trickled down from his hair, slid past his jaw, and disappeared into the edge of the towel. The perfect mix of sexy and stoic. A complete contrast to his usual cool, self-possessed demeanor. I swallowed hard. My eyes were glued to him. What is this? Is he trying to seduce me? Could it be that he doesn't want the divorce and is trying to win me back? With a body like that, I guess I could be convinced. Seen enough? I wasn't looking, I said, trying to cover my guilt. It's a little chilly in here, aren't you cold? The moment the words left my mouth, I knew I'd messed up. It was the middle of summer, almost 90 degrees, and the AC was set to a comfortable 75. Comfortable, at best. How could it possibly be cold? Don't just stand there. Come here. I shuffled over slowly. What's up? Need something? Dry my hair. Oh. My fingers ran through his soft hair. Alex's head was slightly bowed, his thick eyelashes fluttering. He looked incredibly docile. On some crazy impulse, I reached out and squeezed his cheek. His entire body tensed instantly. What are you doing? I snatched my hand back, feigning composure. And nothing. I was just saying, since we're both here, let's get started. Hearing that, Alex cleared his throat. His usually calm and collected voice suddenly sounded extremely unnatural. That email, you sent it, right? I did. And the contents of the email reflected your wishes? Of course. I answered without a second thought. Maybe I was a little too nonchalant, because he clearly froze for a second. A suspicious blush crept up from his neck. You've really thought this through? I nodded. No regrets? I nodded again, but a little doubt started to creep into my mind. Why was Alex being so hesitant today? It wasn't like his usual decisive self. This is the guy who signs multi-million-dollar contracts without batting an eye. Why so many questions? We hadn't spoken this much in our entire 3 years of marriage. So, we follow the steps in the email? Sure. Then let's start with step 1. Step 1. Something about asset division, I think? As I was trying to remember, I saw something out of the corner of my eye. The towel around the man next to me had, without any warning, fallen to the floor. Hey! I gasped, my eyes wide as saucers. But I couldn't stop them from automatically aiming. It was, a little. And also a little. My face was instantly on fire. Even though I'd spent plenty of time watching anatomical videos and studying physiology books. I've hired male models, even sponsored a college guy or two. But it was all just for show, just to talk a big game. Deep down, I was still a total innocent who was all talk and no action. This was a first for me. See no evil, see no evil. I silently turned my back, covering half my face, and pretended to remind him, your towel fell. Oh. Alex went quiet, silent for a moment. Then he pulled a small box out of nowhere and tossed it onto the soft bed. Curious, I peeked through the gaps between my fingers. And then, my eyes shot wide open. What are you doing with that? The air froze for a second. Alex let out a soft laugh, his voice teasing as he moved closer. What do you think, Rose? Me? How should I know? Could it be that he felt shortchanged? He'd been feeding and housing me all this time without laying a finger on me. Now that we were getting a divorce, he wanted to collect some interest, take a little advantage. I closed my eyes. Whatever. You don't bite the hand that feeds you. I was taking so much money from him every month. It wasn't free. I'll just think of it as a dog bite. Besides, I snuck a peek at the broad-shouldered, narrow-waisted, long-legged man beside me. It's not like it's a bad deal for me. My mind was racing. A scorching hot body suddenly pressed against me from behind. His chin rested in the crook of my neck, his breath a tickling, tingly sensation against my ear. I went completely rigid. I tried to struggle, but I couldn't break free. Playing hard to get? What the hell? I don't think I said anything. His face pressed against mine, rubbing gently. Weren't you the one who told me to come back? Why are you shaking? Could it be, you're scared? His low, husky laugh triggered my competitive streak. Who says I am? I'm not scared. If you're not scared, why are you shaking? I'm not shaking. I'm just a little cold. The arm wrapped around my waist tightened. The next second, he swept me up and laid me down on the bed. The mattress sank deep under our weight. Alex propped one hand up by my ear, the other gently stroking my face. His dark eyes were intense. Slightly aggressive, staring straight at me. Rose. His warm breath fell on my face, and I couldn't help but flinch. My breathing grew more and more erratic. My mind started to wander. His eyelashes are so long. And they curl. I don't think I've ever seen Alex from this angle before. He's actually kind of handsome. This might hurt a little, just bear with me. Even if I've never done it, I've seen it in movies. I know what's coming. Rose, are you sure about this? He's still asking. I squeezed my eyes shut. Played dead. 3 minutes later. Actually, not even 3 minutes. I was sprawled on my back, staring at the ceiling, trying my absolute hardest not to laugh. Bite your tongue. Do not laugh. The guy next to me was flushed from head to toe, looking practically cooked. Rose, listen, I can explain. I'm listening. It was an accident, really. He kept mumbling about how he wasn't ready and to just give him another chance. But his explanation sounded pretty weak to me. It won't happen next time, I promise. I covered my face, a bitter smile on my lips. What next time? His face and body, plus the $500,000 monthly allowance, had me starting to have second thoughts about leaving him. Well, that's settled. No more indecision. After he cleaned himself up, Alex still didn't bring up the divorce. He was carefully making the bed with fresh sheets, and under the warm, ambient light, he had this domestic husband vibe. What am I thinking? I shook my head to clear out the ridiculous thoughts. After a moment of hesitation, I cautiously brought it up. Did you bring the divorce papers? Can we sign them now? Divorce? The man, who had been blushing just a moment ago, snapped his head up at my words. His dark eyes were stormy. Say that again. My throat felt tight, but I forced myself to continue. The divorce papers. Before I could finish, a strong hand gripped my wrist, and I was pulled into his arms. A divorce. Don't even think about it. My head was spinning with question marks. What is this drama? Rose, he called my name, his voice hoarse. I will never agree to a divorce. Not unless I'm dead. I struggled to get up, but he forcefully pulled me back into his embrace. The email I sent you, you agreed to it, didn't you? He froze. You mean the email from yesterday? I nodded. The atmosphere turned strangely silent again for a moment. Then Alex suddenly burst out laughing. He grabbed his phone from the nightstand and started scrolling through it. I tried to lean in for a look. He casually moved it away. Stingy. I waited patiently. Alex looked at his phone, then suddenly raised a playfully arched eyebrow at me. Then he began to read aloud, slowly and deliberately. Lydia's brow furrowed as she breathed softly, her small hands slowly clenching the bedsheets. My brain short-circuited. Lydia? That name sounded familiar. Isn't that from the classic I was just reading? What are you reading? I scrambled forward, trying to snatch the phone. But Alex lifted his arm high, easily holding the phone out of reach while his other hand effortlessly restrained me. Alex. Give it to me. He deliberately dragged out his words, his voice low and laced with a teasing laugh. There's a lot more. Want me to keep going? I was furious and mortified. Give it to me. But he just seemed to enjoy reading it more. How did I never realize what a massive jerk he was? Alex held both of my wrists with one hand. I couldn't break free, so I opened my mouth and bit down hard on the back of his hand. Hiss. He sucked in a sharp breath but didn't push me away. Instead, he patted my head. So vicious. Perhaps seeing the glare still in my eyes, he finally gave in. Fine, I'll stop reading. Give it back. Okay, here. I took his phone and checked. Yep. I really sent him my classic novel, instead of the divorce papers. And it was the smuttiest one, too. I wanted to die. Can I please move to another planet now? The next day, my bestie Linda asked me out to party, but my heart wasn't in it. Every time I thought about what happened, I was climbing the walls. It was driving me crazy. I wasn't even in the mood for the 8 gorgeous male models we'd hired to pour our drinks. What's with you? You look like you've seen a ghost. With a miserable look on my face, I spilled everything that happened last night. Linda's face lit up with gossip. What? You too? She was practically bouncing with excitement. Your husband. Your workaholic husband actually. Her loud voice drew stares from people around us. I quickly covered her mouth. Keep it down. Okay, quiet. So, tell me, how was it? How was what? Don't play coy with me. Last night, how was it? I gave her the short version of last night's battle. She fell into a thoughtful silence. After a long moment, she finally said, Yeah, you should get a divorce. Even for someone as hot as Alex, that's a deal breaker. I couldn't help but snort with laughter. I know, right? Besides, he's got his childhood sweetheart. They grew up together. How can I possibly compete with that? He only married me to appease his family. Linda was a passionate person. Hearing that, she slammed her hand on the table. That bastard. I know, right? Bastard. Here, drink up. Let's pre-celebrate your return to single life. Let's get wasted. One bottle after another. We were both completely hammered. Barely conscious. Until my phone screen lit up. The 3 big words Alex jolted me sober. I held up the phone, completely at a loss. It's Alex, what do I do? I'll handle it. My bestie snatched the phone and answered. I'm warning you, Alex, stop bothering our Rose. Our Rose doesn't like guys who only last 3 minutes. The alcohol had taken over. I had no idea what she was saying, so I just chimed in with a totally. The other end of the line was silent for a long moment. Then, a dial tone. When I opened my eyes again, I rubbed my head, which felt like it was being poked with needles, and struggled to sit up. My consciousness slowly returned. I surveyed my surroundings. The curtains were drawn tight, leaving the room dark and gloomy. The decor was black and white, minimalist. This wasn't my apartment. It looked vaguely familiar. This looks like our marital home. The one we stayed in for one day after getting married, before I moved out. How did I get here? I threw off the covers and looked down. My heart skipped another beat. My clothes had been changed. I was wearing a large men's white button-down. The sleeves were so long they covered my entire hands, and the collar was loose and open. Where's my dress from last night? I stealthily pushed open the bedroom door. Downstairs in the living room. A man sat on the sofa, holding a teacup and reading the financial section of the newspaper. He was in loungewear, his long legs crossed and propped up near the coffee table. He looked different from his usual suited-up self. I held my breath, held my shoes in my hand, and tiptoed. I tried not to make a single sound as I crept downstairs. "Where are you going?" The voice wasn't loud, but it startled me so much I stumbled and almost fell. Alex was unperturbed, calmly continuing to sip his tea. He turned a page of the newspaper. "The housekeeper made some soup. It's in the kitchen. Go have some. Oh. And put your shoes on." I obediently complied. But I couldn't help but wonder, does he have eyes in the back of his head? The soup was still warm, and it was my favorite kind. A few sips. The burning sensation in my stomach actually started to fade. "When you're done, go get changed. Grandpa wants us to come to the main house for dinner." "Huh? So suddenly? Is it sudden? I was planning to tell you yesterday." He finally looked up at me. I couldn't read his expression, but I could still feel a scrutinizing gaze. "Yesterday." The memories flooded back, and my face instantly burned. I vaguely remembered him calling. Linda answered. And she had thoroughly humiliated him. I'm so screwed. My best friend is going to be the death of me. I tried to come up with an excuse. That's not what I meant. He cut me off with a sharp tch and stood up, walking toward me. At 6 feet 1 inch, his height was a little intimidating. His deep eyes fell on me like a slow execution. I shrank back. He leaned in slightly, his eyes narrowed. "Go get changed first. As for everything else, we'll settle the score when we get back." I could hear the clenched teeth anger in his voice. But I didn't dare argue. I meekly followed behind him. The pressure was intense. I desperately wanted to get away from him. But just as my hand touched the rear door handle of the car, an annoyed voice came from the driver's seat, "Sit up front." So I meekly went to the front. We drove in silence. I nervously fiddled with my hands. Out of the corner of my eye, I glanced at the rearview mirror and unexpectedly met his gaze. I quickly looked down in a panic. Suddenly, my phone rang. It was Linda. I answered with a sense of relief. "Rose, are you okay?" I was confused. "Huh? Yeah, I'm fine." She hesitated before speaking. "Do you remember what happened yesterday?" "What happened yesterday?" "Well, we both got wasted. Chase told me that your husband came to pick you up, and you were a total mess, throwing a tantrum, talking nonsense, completely unstoppable. And then you treated him like one of the hired models, kissing and hugging him, and when you decided he was too cold and grumpy, you slapped him." "What?" My heart started pounding. Was I really that wild when I'm drunk? I immediately turned to look at the man beside me. Sure enough, there was a faint red mark on his chiseled face. Chase also said your husband's face was terrifyingly dark. "Are you sure you're okay?" I have to go. Talk to you later." I hung up in a hurry. I stole a glance at Alex. He was focused on the road, the simple wedding band on his left ring finger catching the light. About yesterday." As if sensing what I was about to say, he cut me off. "I told you, don't worry about it yet. The score, we'll settle it, slowly, when we get back." My heart was in my throat. This is it. I'm really screwed. I should have never had that much to drink. It's going to be the end of me. The black Bentley slowly pulled into the estate. "We're here." Alex unbuckled his seatbelt and turned to look at me. "You don't need to be nervous in there. You don't have to be nice to people you don't like. No matter what happens, I've got your back." I looked up in surprise. His face was still expressionless, as if he'd just said it casually. But I was still a little touched. It was the first time anyone had ever said something like "I've got your back" to me. Not even my own parents. 3 years ago, they forced me to marry Alex to get his family's company to invest in ours. I tried to resist. What I got was a sharp slap across the face. We raised you for over 20 years, and now that the family needs you, this is your attitude? If the Chin family goes under, do you really think you can keep living your life, being a designer? Designer. That feels like a lifetime ago. Rose? Alex's hand waved in front of my face. I snapped back to reality. Oh, it's nothing. Just thinking about some old stuff. He didn't say anything, just took my hand. It felt like he was comforting me. The warmth from his palm spread through me. His calloused thumb unconsciously rubbed against my wrist bone, sending a shiver through my hand. I didn't pull away. I let him lead me into the main house. The living room was already full of relatives. When they saw us, dozens of eyes turned to us in unison. Alex and Rose are back. Come sit. Grandpa was all smiles, looking very kind. I had a good impression of him. He was open-minded and had never given me a hard time. Hey, what happened to Alex's face? Someone asked. He answered calmly, it's nothing. A cat scratched me. I let out a guilty sigh of relief. As I greeted all the relatives, Alex held my hand the entire time, handling all the small talk. All I had to do was nod and smile. I was very happy with this arrangement and secretly gave him an appreciative look. He continued to handle the relatives with his usual composure. But the tight line of his lips had curved into a slight smile. Like he was secretly laughing. I suddenly remembered the first time I attended one of his family gatherings. He had saved me then, too. Back then, I was surrounded by a crowd of his relatives. Rose, you and Alex have been married for a while now. Isn't it time to think about having a child? That's right, Alex is the only heir to the family. The relatives chattered on, one after another. It gave me a headache. But since they were all Alex's elders, I put up with it. When Alex came out of the study after finishing his business, he noticed the situation. He saw my discomfort immediately. Grandma, aunts, please don't give Rose a hard time. It's on me. Don't blame her. The air seemed to freeze for a moment. Everyone exchanged confused glances. After that, no one ever dared to bring it up in front of me again. At dinner, I was seated next to Alex. To my right was his aunt. The meal was going fine. Then, my aunt suddenly put a piece of braised pork on my plate. I quickly thanked her, thank you, Auntie. We're all family, no need to be so polite. Alex is so lucky to have married such a smart and beautiful girl like Rose. I don't think I know what Rose does for work. The smile on my face froze. I was completely mortified. After getting married, I became unemployed, completely dependent on Alex. I had no job. I had no idea how to answer. But the next second, Alex picked the braised pork off my plate without even lifting an eyelid. Rose doesn't need to work. Also, Rose prefers lighter food. You don't need to give her anything so greasy. The aunt gave a sheepish laugh and withdrew her hand. I turned to look at him. As if sensing my gaze, he lazily turned to meet my eyes and raised an eyebrow. After dinner, Grandpa Gu arranged for us to stay the night. I had just gotten out of the shower when Alex came in. As soon as he entered, his eyes scanned me from top to bottom, finally landing on my bare feet. He frowned. No shoes again? I shuffled my feet guiltily. Putting them on now. Alex didn't say anything. He walked straight to the shoe rack, grabbed a pair of women's slippers, and bent down slightly to place them at my feet. The collar of his shirt was half open, revealing his collarbone. I've got some work to handle in the study. You go ahead and sleep. He hurried into the study. Probably a work issue. I sighed. A big shot CEO who manages a million things a day, he never gets a break. Listening to the crisp sound of keyboard tapping from the study, I let out a long breath. My feelings were complicated. Part relief, part disappointment. This was not at all how I had imagined things going. Alex didn't hold me, nor did he help me put on my shoes. He really was a boring, old-fashioned man. Absolutely no romance. I snuggled under the covers, trying to fall asleep for a long time. I was finally starting to drift off. In my sleepy haze, I felt the other side of the bed dip, and then someone pulled me into their arms. The scent of his shower gel filled my senses. It smelled really good. I unconsciously snuggled deeper into his embrace, finding the most comfortable position. I fell fast asleep. When I woke up again, the sun was high in the sky. As consciousness returned, I realized I was wrapped around Alex like an octopus. I shot up. You. Alex tilted his head, a smile playing on his lips. You what? You're such a restless sleeper. I couldn't even push you away. Impossible. Why impossible? I was sleeping perfectly fine, and you insisted on burrowing into my arms. I was skeptical. Linda had told me I was a very still sleeper. How could that be? Maybe you just wanted to hold me and decided to blame it on me? Alex's expression turned teasing. You guessed it. You. He caught my outstretched finger and pulled me into the bathroom. His hands rested on my shoulders. Okay, enough playing around. Go wash up. We need to go home. We? Go home? What about your work? Are you done with it? Oh, I forgot to tell you. The company's business has stabilized. I won't have to fly around so much anymore. Starting today, you're moving back in. I felt like I'd been struck by lightning, frozen on the spot. What? He's not leaving? My good life is officially over. Why that expression? You look so happy. I'm glad you're happy, he said, answering his own question with satisfaction. Which one of his eyes saw happiness? It was clearly shock and resistance. I had a lot of stuff. The moving company made trip after trip. My various dresses quickly took over the walk-in closet. Alex's shirts and suits had to fight for survival in the remaining space. Should we set up another walk-in closet for you? He asked, leaning against the doorway, watching me bustle around. Yes. Yes, please. By the way, how come you're not asking me why I have so many clothes? Why would I ask that? Obviously, because you like them. We have enough space for many more. You can buy whatever you want. You don't mind me spending your money? Alex scoffed. Are you underestimating me? A few dresses like this? That's pocket change. I couldn't help but throw myself into his arms. So generous. I love you to death. He was clearly taken aback, then he started patting my back, his voice softening. So sweet all of a sudden. Want your allowance? Can I? I'll have my assistant transfer it to your account later. Yay! I cheered, spinning in circles. He looked down at my excited antics, his eyes unbelievably gentle. I stopped. Why are you looking at me like that? I nervously twisted the hem of my shirt. My heart was pounding. It's nothing. Oh. As I turned away, I tried to press down on my chest to calm the fluttering in my heart. I had a sudden realization. It had been a long time since I'd even thought about the divorce. Even though he didn't have to fly all over the place anymore, Alex was still very busy with all sorts of social engagements. But he came home every night to have dinner with me. So far, we were getting along quite well. Get ready. You're coming with me to a business gala tonight. What kind of gala requires my personal attendance? Alex sighed in resignation. I'll double your allowance. I shot up from the bed and eagerly went to try on gowns. I just love attending galas. Behind me, a certain someone was smiling fondly. The wine-red mermaid dress fit me perfectly, accentuating my curves. I looked up. Our eyes met in the mirror. stunned by my beauty. Alex's Adam's apple bobbed, but he wouldn't admit it. Don't be so conceited. Let's go, the car is downstairs. TCH. The ballroom was dazzling under the crystal chandeliers. I walked in on Alex's arm. The moment he entered, he was surrounded by people wanting to chat. I, on the other hand, focused on picking out the best pastries. This one's good. That one's good too. Just as I was enjoying myself, a woman in a cream-colored gown stopped in front of me. You must be Rose, right? Yes. And you are? I'm Rachel. Rachel? The one who grew up with Alex. The Rachel who everyone in our circle called one half of the golden couple? What was she doing here? My heart sank. Could it be that Alex came here tonight to see her? I couldn't stop my mind from racing. A warm hand suddenly rested on my waist. I turned my head. It was Alex. Where did you run off to? He affectionately patted my head. Alex, long time no see, Rachel said, taking a step forward and extending her hand. She had a smile on her lips, her makeup was flawless, and she had an air of cool elegance. Even I was impressed. Few men could resist her. I watched as Alex took her slender hand. But he let go just as quickly. Rachel, long time no see. And this is? Her gaze shifted to me. My wife, Rose. Alex's voice wasn't loud, but it was clear enough for everyone in the room to hear. Rachel maintained her polite smile and even extended her hand to me. Hello, I'm Rachel. Alex and I grew up together. I didn't say a word. I tugged on Alex's sleeve. He seemed to get the message, turning slightly to shield me behind him. A handshake won't be necessary. Rose is a bit shy. Rachel's smile finally faltered. I've never seen you so protective of anyone, Alex. You're a lucky woman, Rose. The warmth in Alex's eyes cooled a little. I'm the lucky one for getting to marry Rose. If you'll excuse us, we need to go say hello over there. He pulled me away. But I could feel a pair of eyes following us for a long time. We reached a quiet balcony. Alex put his arm around my shoulder and looked down at me with a smile. Upset? I turned my face away. What do I have to be upset about? Rachel is elegant and beautiful. It's perfectly normal for you to like her. She's your childhood sweetheart. Who am I? Who cares about me? I care. And what's this about a childhood sweetheart? You're my wife, okay? Alex cooed, trying to soothe me. But I couldn't hear a word he was saying. The resentment inside me felt like a bomb with a short fuse. It just kept growing. Who's your wife? I pushed his hand away and turned to run. I heard him call out behind me, Rose. But I didn't look back. I just ran, hiding in a quiet corner of the hallway. I let him search for me like a headless chicken. After squatting in the hallway for a while, I called Linda to come pick me up. Then I basically moved into her place. As if to spite him, I blocked Alex on everything. Linda watched me, unable to eat or sleep, her face full of worry. Is hiding like this really going to work? It has to. I'm not going back. Why? He has someone else in his heart. Rachel is back. Do you know who Rachel is? She grew up with Alex. Years ago, she chased after him so aggressively, everyone in our circle knows about it. So what did Alex say? He ignored her, but I'm still upset. I cried, a mess of tears and snot. They're definitely trying to get back together. But if Alex ignored her, then that's that. You should talk to him and get things straight. Hiding won't solve anything. No. He hasn't come looking for me yet. If I go to him first, I'll look so desperate. Linda stared at me for a second, then burst out laughing. Rose, you're done for. You've really fallen for him. Besides, how do you know he hasn't been looking for you? as soon as she finished speaking. She held up her phone with a grin. "See, what did I tell you? Your man is calling me now." She pulled me to the window. Down below was that familiar black Bentley. Alex was leaning against the car, a lazy posture, a cigarette glowing red between his fingers. He looked like he had been waiting for a long time, checking his watch every so often. "He's waiting for you. Go talk to him and clear things up." I hesitated. He suddenly looked up, his gaze locking directly onto mine. Then he smiled. Linda's phone buzzed. It was a message from Alex. Just 2 words, "Come down." Immediately followed by a notification of a 100,000 transfer to Linda's account. "Your husband is very generous." With the money in her account, Linda started pushing me to go downstairs. I was speechless. "He bought you off for 100 grand? Of course not. But based on my experience with, 800 guys, I can tell he's in love with you. Trust your girl, I'm never wrong." "Really? Really?" I took a step, then looked back. "But I haven't washed my face in days. Do I look awful?" "Honey, you're a natural beauty. Believe in yourself." I mustered up my courage and ran downstairs. Alex looked up just as I reached him, extinguishing his cigarette in a nearby trash can. I stopped a few feet away from him. "Alex, I have something to say to you." "Okay, I'm listening." "I know about you and Rachel. If you want a divorce." I couldn't finish the sentence. Tears started streaming down my face. That wasn't what I wanted to say. I wanted to ask if he had feelings for me, what his relationship with Rachel really was. But my stubborn, twisted personality, the opposite of what I felt, always came out of my mouth. "Who told you I want a divorce?" "I figured it out myself." Alex let out a frustrated laugh. "So you just jumped to your own conclusions and sentenced me to death?" He took my hand, his expression serious. "The person I love has always been you. Can't you see that? Why do you think I insisted on an arranged marriage with your family? You think I was after the Chin Corporation, which was already falling apart?" My eyes grew wider and wider. "I don't think I'd ever considered that." "That's right, I admit it. I've been in love with you for a long time. So I schemed, I orchestrated this whole marriage, just for a chance to marry you. Will you hate me for it?" "Hate me if you want, but I was going crazy waiting any longer." Alex's eyes grew red, his voice trembling. He took a moment to compose himself. Then he continued. "As for Rachel, our families are close, but that's it. Whatever you heard, it's all rumors." I still didn't get it. "If everything you're saying is true, then why didn't you come home for 3 years? Did you ever give me a chance to come home?" His question stopped me in my tracks. Thinking back, it was true. 3 years ago, I was forced into this marriage, so I hated my arranged husband from the very beginning. I was never nice to him. And on the second day of our marriage, I resolutely moved out. "I tried to see you again," the man in front of me said, his voice low and tinged with hurt. He began to tell me things I never knew. The first month of our marriage, Alex had taken a special vacation to come back to the country. He had dressed up, brought a gift, and given himself countless pep talks. But at my door, he overheard me ranting to my best friend. "I already hate him, so it's better if he doesn't come back. If he comes back, I'll just get a divorce. My parents can't control me anymore anyway." Hiding outside the door, Alex lost all courage to knock. After that, he stopped coming home. He buried himself in work to numb the pain. Until he received that mistakenly sent email. He thought I had finally come around. After hearing the whole story, I scratched my head, embarrassed. That was then. And now? Now, I think you're a pretty good guy. Just pretty good? He pulled me into his arms, playfully pinching my reddening earlobe. I sighed. I like you. I like you, okay? That's more like it. The hands around my waist tightened, and a muffled sob escaped from Alex's throat. All the emotions he had been holding back finally burst out. "Rose, please don't leave me. Rose, can I?" I turned my head, avoiding the scorching breath of the man on top of me. "You've asked me 100 times already. Stop asking. If I said no, would you stop?" His eyes were hazy as he nuzzled my neck. "No." His warm lips descended, and he held the back of my head so I couldn't escape. "Remember that email you sent me? Turns out, Rose likes it like that. Today, should we give it a try?" I closed my eyes in humiliation. With the last of my strength, I pressed down on his already wandering hands. Lights off. When I woke up again, it was the next day. My whole body ached, my bones felt like they had been taken apart and put back together wrong. Alex was still asleep, but his arm was still wrapped tightly around my waist. I stared at his face for a while. I couldn't help but marvel. So handsome. My fingertips traced the line of his brow, down to his fluttering eyelashes, over his high-bridged nose, and finally rested on the corner of his lips. He didn't open his eyes. He just rubbed his nose against my cheek. "If you keep that up, You'll what?" "If you keep that up, I'll think you've recovered and want to go again." I immediately closed my eyes and played dead. Nope, I can't handle that level of intensity. But then again, how come this time was completely different from the last time? Could it be that last time was his first time? As I thought it, I asked it. The person pretending to be asleep turned red at the tips of his ears, looking a bit shy. So what if it was? I was secretly delighted. But he didn't let me speak. His kiss was urgent, pressing down on me, completely different from the gentle restraint of before. It was fierce and possessive, like a conquering army. Like a punishment. After a long time, his voice was incredibly hoarse. "I've been saving myself for you all these years, and you're laughing." My head was spinning. "I'm not laughing. You have to make it up to me." "How do I do that?" "You know how." By the time we were done, I was completely exhausted. But Alex was still smiling. "Rose, I have a gift for you," he said with a mysterious look. "What gift?" He produced a small, exquisite box from the nightstand. I opened it. "A key. I know being a designer has always been your dream. So, I will give you my full support. This is your studio. The equipment, the team, they're all the best. Rose, go do what you love." My eyes welled up. He wiped the tears from the corner of my eyes with his thumb, his touch incredibly gentle. "I believe in you." At a boozy business dinner, Alex kept checking his phone. It was almost 11 o'clock. The message he was waiting for still hadn't come. Mr. Grant, the host of the dinner, had already been called away by his wife's relentless phone calls. Alex dejectedly opened his chat with Rose. It was empty. Not a single message. The last message was the one he had sent to check in. "Honey, I have a dinner thing tonight, I'll be home late. Don't worry, no girls here." No reply. Alex went home feeling dejected. The small figure usually curled up on the sofa rushed over to him. "You're back." "Yeah." Rose sensed something was wrong. She looked at him with concern. "What's wrong? Why are you upset?" Alex didn't say anything, just nuzzled her neck, looking extremely pitiful. "You didn't even call me. Weren't you at a business dinner?" "Why would I call you?" "I don't care. Other guys' wives call them a bunch of times a night, and I get nothing." Alex's voice was muffled. He whined and whimpered in Rose's arms like a big baby. His tall frame was curled up, looking a bit ridiculous. Rose didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She ruffled his thick black hair and soothed him gently. All right, next time I'll call and nag you too. Also, how come you never check up on me?" "Huh? Don't you already send me 800 messages a day to check in? Why would I need to check up on you?" It's not the same. Okay, it's not the same. Go take a shower first, you smell like alcohol. Hearing that, Alex hugged her even tighter like a spoiled child. Just a little longer. Be good, go take a shower first. He pouted and didn't say anything, just fidgeted with the hem of Rose's shirt, looking both wronged and dejected. Honey. Rose sighed and face-bombed. Later, it took Rose a great deal of effort to coax Alex into taking a shower. On the weekend, Alex was in another online meeting. Rose was bored. She stood at the door of the study, staring at the man focused on his work for a while, but he didn't notice her. She avoided the camera and walked up to him. He finally looked up and muted his mic. I'll be done here in a bit. I'll be right with you. But I'm bored now. Honey, this project is really important. Rose pouted but obediently left. But being well-behaved was out of the question. She rummaged through the closet and finally picked out one of Alex's white button-downs to put on. She opened the study door again. Alex looked over. The gaze behind his gold-rimmed glasses shifted from initial shock to a deep, dark intensity. His eyes finally landed on Rose's bare legs. His Adam's apple bobbed quickly. He cleared his throat. That's all for today. Meeting adjourned. As he lifted Rose into his arms, Alex realized she was only wearing a shirt. The dark fire in his eyes burned even hotter. He strode toward the bedroom. Curled up in Alex's arms, Rose thought to herself, my bestie really knows her stuff after dating 800 guys. Her advice is solid gold.